It is. Oh my God. Listen, y'all. It is already Tuesday. It feels like we just got off the live, right? But hey everyone. My name is Peach. Unfortunately, I will not be hosting tonight. We have a special guest host to live in the building, a wonderful ally, and always tuning in to LGBTQ plus and black. So, as usual, let me do the little house cleaner to let y'all know that yes, we will be answering the questions normal in black style. So, everything said here are just the opinions of the LGBTQ plus panel, including myself, not necessarily the thoughts and feelings and views of I Am Me Inc., the nonprofit. So, welcome. Please take some time to share the live. Tonight's topic is allies would like to know. And we're going to find out what this particular ally would like to know and ask of the community. So, everybody say hello, hello, hello. Unmute.
Hola.
Hello.
Greetings and salutations.
And Tim, say hello. All right. So Tim will come back in and says, says his greeting and say his greeting. I'm sorry, I'm all coughed up and choked up right now. Maybe I'm a little upset and kind of crying in the inside because I'm not hosting, but no, I'm happy to live is here. So before we get into this topic, Dre,
Peach.
let everybody know about our cruise coming up.
Absolutely. It is the I Am Me Inc. LGBTQIA Sail Away Cruise. We are taking over the Virgin Islands. The Virgin Cruise Lines Resilient Lady. I would love to take over Virgin Islands, though, Peach. We might need to do a landfall celebration. But we are going to be on the Fire in Sunset Soiree, March 4th through the 8th, 2027. Tickets are now on sale. You can book your own cabin using that good QR code at the top right hand side of your screen. Your prices include $100 seller loop per cabin. That's not per person. That is per cabin, and $100 bar tab per cabin. Plus, you get free Wi-Fi the entire time we're on the boat. If you have not been on Virgin Cruise Lines, let me just let you know now. This is not a family event. Leave the kids at home. Must be 21 and older to get on Virgin Cruise Lines, which means what? If In Black is in the building, it's going to be some shit to be said. We have a cocktail party for all of our guests, so we definitely want to see you in the place, and we look forward to seeing you on the waters, March 4th through the 8th, 2027. QR code, right-hand side of your screen. Get your tickets. That I keep telling y'all, get y'all damn tickets. Y'all keep playing. Get your tickets. Get them.
Oh my goodness, thank you, Dre. So before we put our host on the screen and we answer these questions, LGBTQ plus style, I'd like to play a music video that you saw last week. But I love it. It's popping, it's jumping. I love Carla G. So I gotta represent for my girl. So y'all stay tuned. After this video, we'll be back, and Talib will start the show and ask us all these amazing questions that the panel can't wait to answer. All right, don't go nowhere. This is Carla G.
I am love, I'm only human. shall rise, we don't fall. When will you realize you are the real prize? When will you realize you are the real prize? I call you to move. I call you to breathe life into your heart. Breathe life into your body. You are a blessing, you are a movement, you are a vision. Time does not consume you. You are a time traveler. You move in the unseen galaxies that only God can see. You are floating through the universe with power and grace. Your face, your body, it moves. It moves to the everlasting movement of life. You feel good, you look good, you are good. You strive for success. You deserve the beauty and the rest. You are here, you are now, you are everything. Sway, move, sway, move, sway, move, sway. As we dance, the energy's high. Let the music be our guide. All for one for all. We shall rise, we don't fall. As we dance, the energy's high. Let the music be our guide. All for one for all. We shall rise, we don't fall. You can dance with it, you can do it. You can sing with it, you can do it. You can clap with it, you can do it. You can smile with it, you can do it. You can vibe with it, you can do it. You can dance with it, you can do it. You can sing with it, you can do it. You can dance with it, you can do it. Find the rhythm, find your dreams. Reach real high, be the sky, be the air. Touch the trees, be the freedom you see. You can dance with it, you can do it. You can sing with it, you can do it. You can clap with it, you can do it. You can smile with it, you can do it. You can vibe with it, you can do it. You can dance with it, you can do it. You can sing with it, you can do it. You can dance with it, you can do it. As we dance, the energy's high. Let the music be our guide. All for one for all. We shall rise, we don't fall. As we dance, the energy's high. Let the music be our guide. All for one for all. We shall rise, we don't fall. We shall rise, we don't fall. Be free, be free, be free. We shall rise, we don't fall. We shall rise, we don't fall. We shall rise.
All right, so it's time. I'm gonna pull up our host. Y'all ready? It looks like everybody's still singing and dancing.
That is my cut. I just said I'm about to get her music on my Apple Music.
You about to get it?
I was having
All
a whole Jill,
right.
I was having a whole Jill
Yeah,
Scott moment over
me too.
here.
I'm like, is that
Yeah.
gonna play on the cruise?
I was like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna send that to Jill Scott. Tell her I gotta open that.
All right. So special guest host Talib, you got the floor.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That was a great song. I enjoyed it. It was awesome. It had a great rhythm, and I love the words. Um, okay, so like I have like 8 questions, and these are well thought out questions, right? And I think some of it may have some because doing my research led into more uh, interesting language that may not be common to others. So I figured the first question will start with one of those terms, and that is, given the concept of interlocking identities, and everybody here is aware of the term, right? Interlocking identity. All right. Well, it seems Dre may not be aware of what it means. And so instead of me just giving my loose interpretation of it, I actually have a definition for it that I want to share with the audience too, because I think that this is very important in understanding the black gay community. I think this term is super important to it, you know. But interlocking or intersecting identity is a framework coined by Kimberly Crenshaw. It describes how social categories like race, gender, class, and sexuality overlap rather than acting in isolation. These traits combine to create unique uh, uh, experiences or privileges and discrimination and systematic oppression. So essentially, uh, uh, mo- other other races don't have they have the privilege of saying, okay, I'm white and I'm gay, but black people that they don't have a separation. It's all intermingled into one, right? So this is what leads into my question. So, excuse me, I have this all on a nice little pad over here. I wanted to be professional and courteous, and I really want y'all to give some good answers. So, given the concept of interlocking identities, where being black and gay are inseparable, how has this dual identity shaped your journey of self discovery? And what unique strength or perspective do you feel it has given you? And let's start with Dre, please.
I had a feeling I was going to be starting with. All right, so you said because your background kind of blurred out when you were asking the question, so I'm
Oh, I
not
can
sure.
ask it for you again since I'm gonna have
Yeah,
you answer it. I'll ask you again.
could you do that? And I could definitely answer it. I just needed to hear the question again while I'm pulling up the
And
question.
all my questions was really long, so anytime anybody wants me to repeat it, please, I'm more than happy to repeat it. Sorry, my puppy. This is Lilith and
Hey,
Bean, my little sidekick in action.
too
All right.
cute.
All right. So, given the concept of interlocking identities, where being black and gay are inseparable, how has this dual identity shaped your journey of self discovery? And what unique strengths or perspectives do you feel it has given you?
Got you. Okay. For me, I feel that I've always been like a behind the scenes person. Part of that is just because I just don't have time to deal with people, um, which is crazy because I'm always dealing with people, given the number of different things I do, from ministry to community work to education. Um, to me, I feel like this has given me a lot more, um, I would say, less stress with being in the public eye. Let me put it like that. It's given me a lot of courage, like strength to be able to even deal with people. Because I've always been that person that just, the less you know about me, the better I am. Um, I know I don't want to be seen. I'm okay with, being behind the scenes. I don't need to be acknowledged. And it wasn't until I really became real active in the LGBTQ community that, where I was okay with being acknowledged for things that I've done, work that I still do, in the city or in the state of Delaware. So it was the city of Wilmington at one point. Now it's completely the state of Delaware, and abroad. We have, one of the only LGBTQ affirming churches in Africa, right now in West Africa. At that, we are doing well with that church. Um, we are trying to change the scope of how the Black LGBTQ community is received here in the state. as well as in other states. I just literally just got off the phone with my cousin today, who's in Florida, and working on how the trans population is received there at the present time, especially in the city that she lives in. So we have been really pushing a different scope or perspective for the LGBTQ community. If you would have caught me about 10 years ago, I would have been like, okay, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it. But just don't ask me to do it, be on a show, Pete Shoo. Like, that's not going to happen. And so, being black and gay, I felt it was needed to have a positive voice so that everyone would know that what we see on while the issues we see on shows like Pose and Drag Race and things like that are very populated issues within the LGBT community, it doesn't necessarily represent everybody. There are other aspects that we just don't show when it comes to TV and when it comes to media, period. It's not a big party, it's a fight. And because of what my people have already had to fight for me to be able to achieve, it's only right that I fight for others to achieve success in life also.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like that answer. That was well. Did you write that down?
I do not write down answers, just so you know. I'm off the rip. But yeah.
Well, that was well thought out. It felt thought out. And I appreciate that. Zay, you want me to repeat the question?
Um, yeah, sure.
Okay. So, given the concept of interlocking identities, where black and gay are inseparable, right? How has this dual identity shaped your journey of self-discovery? And what unique strengths or perspectives do you feel it's given you?
I don't know. That's actually a lot to process, but I'll just say from then to now, I'll probably say I just always say I don't like people, but I do like people because I'm always in the crowd. I always am the front of the crowd. I'm out in the open. But nowadays, not so much because it's not the same. Like you could go out back then and stuff, and you'll be all right with things. And now you go out and it's kind of like you gotta keep your eyes open. You gotta be watching here, watching there. So I would say probably more confidence back then. The confidence is still there. It's just not as strong now because the crowds aren't the same. The environments aren't the same. It's different.
Mm,
But I'll say it probably made me stronger though because now I know like what areas to go with, what areas not to be with, and know to keep the crowds to a minimum and not so much always about being the opening, I guess.
mm. Okay. I feel I like your answer. I'm going to sort of word it in another way too, because I think there's some more you could give us to this answer, if that's okay with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Okay. All right. Here's how I'm gonna put it. Right. When you were younger, right, as a young black person, you had a certain type of stigma you had to deal with, right? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a gay person, right, as well, because my point about the interlocking identity is that you don't have you it's inseparable, right? You for a white person, they could just say, okay, they can hide their gayness and then just be white, right? You see what I'm saying? Or try to hide or whatever. They can do something deceptively to lay on their race and they'll be okay. But for you, you don't have that,
Yeah, no.
right? Because you're black and you're gay, right? And somewhere along the line, because you're here, there's something that you discovered about you and your unique experience that gave you a strength to allow you to be here today, right?
Okay.
Can you share that with us?
Share which part?
The perspective that you came to the understanding of with being black and gay that made you say, "Hey, you know what? Screw what everybody's thinking. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to do this." Right? There was a point where you came to that understanding for yourself, right? And there must have been a thinking process, something that occurred, an experience, or something that led you to be who you are now.
Because the world was always so against it, that just caused me to not give no fucks and just go out there and be myself and not care what anybody else had to say. I did it for myself more so for the people. And because you become yourself and you go out there and be yourself and do what you want to do and be your true self and not hide who you are, people actually hate you more for that. But it also opens a lot of doors for others.
See, I knew. There it is. That's the answer I was looking for, right? You used courage. You said, "I'm going to be myself no matter what the consequence is." Right? And it doesn't matter. And when you did that, opposed to whatever fear or thoughts or doubts you might have had, you had a different response that showed you that you can be yourself. Even though there may have people that disagree, there were plenty of people who agreed with you. Is that
Right.
am I wrong? Am
No, that's
I'm
right.
here to learn. So Tim, I'm not calling on Peach to last. You there, Tim?
Tim.
Can you hear me, Tim?
I don't know what's going on with Tim.
You look like you being watched on hidden camera
That's
right
fine. You
now.
can do us
Like, who
in
really
whatever order you want. Run the question by me again.
You know what? There's a real delay. If it's
Y'all can't
almost
see
like
me? Y'all can't see
there's a
me or hear
Yes,
me?
we can see you. Yeah, we can see and hear you.
Oh, it's simple. Yeah, I can hear you.
it's like your voice is getting here before your movements on the camera.
Okay, we want to switch him
Can
out
you hear me or
until
no?
we can get him back. Yeah,
Uh
we can hear you.
your fingers is over the phone
But we
and
see your hand.
we getting Houston level delays here.
Okay, but can you hear me? Can
Yes.
you hear me? You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm having a problem because my camera won't switch around. So when I flip it around the other way, you can't see me.
We could see you, but there was a delay. There was just a really like a lag delay.
We
So
see you now.
Okay. So could you repeat the question?
yeah, no problem. No problem. So, given the concept of interlocking identities, where black and gay are inseparable, how has this dual identity shaped your journey of self discovery, and what unique strengths or perspectives do you feel it has given you?
Well, I've experienced a lot of stuff as a result of being a part of this lifestyle. So I'll say I'll say my level of empathy. I've always been an empathetic person, but it's not until you go through certain things, experience certain things, survive certain things that you develop a wisdom from it, you know? So my levels of empathy are different than a lot of people. My ability to understand or connect or comprehend uh, is a lot different. Um, And the result of that, I can sit down and talk to somebody about anything, not just an exchange of words. I can sit down and talk to them with wisdom. So I think the levels of empathy from my experiences navigating through this lifestyle,
Mm,
um, I would say that is one of my greater assets because it's allowed me to help so many people that were going through similar things or things that weren't so much similar as the same level of impact or the same level of trauma or something
mhm.
that there was a similarity or a connection where I actually could give somebody to help them or nourish them, or in some cases, deter them from things that they were contemplating doing to themselves. So I would say
Wow.
there are a few other things, but empathy definitely was one of my greatest gains.
Wow, that's a great answer, Tim. I appreciate that.
That's my
Thank you.
answer.
That was powerful. That was powerful. I really like. Well, wait before I move on. I'll and Peach, can you go ahead and do you want me to repeat the question for you?
No, I can answer it.
Okay.
So thinking about this question and my journey is a little bit different than everyone else's because again with the intersectionality with being black and LGBTQ, the first thing I could say, my first thought was to just try to fit in, because of the religious aspects of it and the expectations of, family. So I
Hmm.
tried to fit in the greater culture and do the heterosexual thing by getting married, having children, the gender role thing expected of women. Then later on in life, I decided to just be myself. And because I'm such a strong person as a black person, I've always been into history and things, I started to look for myself, my whole identity in that. So I have a line that I came up with that, I used to always say during all these shows, and it's we always been here. Meaning, not only have I always been here as a black woman being able to achieve, I have always been here as a black LGBTQ plus person achieving. And so, with that being said, I just searched for myself, and then I found, Bayard, and then I found historical people, um, religious texts, ancient religious texts. So that further empowered me and emboldened me to say, you know what, I'm here, I'm queer, and it's fine, and no one's going to change that. So it made me more confident, more rooted, and that knowledge just strengthened me. So that is, my answer. I just searched for myself and it empowered me.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, I have my thing muted. I don't like to have my mic open when you're talking or anybody's talking. But wow, that was a great answer, Peach. Thank you. That was wonderful. I really like how everyone has a different perspective, you know, and when you put it all together, you get a whole understanding, you know. But thank you. So I'm gonna keep moving on because we got several more questions to get through. And yeah. So my next question is beyond traditional nightlife, what are and the reason I ask and before I ask these questions, I would like to give a little reason to why I'm asking that question. Right. The reason I'm about to ask this question in particularly is because I feel as if the uh, LGBT community has a stereotype attached to it, right? Not a humanistic aspect, like a person, like regular people. There's this stereotype that just connects everything to nightlife and just you know what I mean? No, like they're not scientists, like gays are not scientists, mathematicians, and many other of the great engineers, the things the world needs, right? To function. You sort of just it's just everybody just get clumped into this group. So this is why I'm asking this question. So the question goes, beyond traditional nightlife, what are the most vibrant and meaningful spaces, whether physical or digital? And where where do you find uh, community joy and authentic connection within the gay Black experience? And so this is a multi-level question. So I'm gonna start with one part at a time, and Dre, I'm gonna start with you. So the question is, beyond the traditional nightlife, what are some of the most vibrant and meaningful spaces, whether physical or digital?
For me, I don't do clubs anymore. um, I don't know if I've outgrown them because I have a family of club owners. You know, my grandfather owned a club. His father owned the first Black club in Delaware. I owned the first youth club in Delaware. So I think I clubbed myself. Then when I moved to Miami, I opened the club. So I think I just clubbed myself the fuck out. I am a huge fan of the show business, entertainment industry. So I am a huge fan of Broadway. I am a huge fan of lounges, concerts. If you want to catch me at an event, I will go to a concert or a Broadway show, or just a show period before you gonna catch me in a club. I felt like the club was cute when I was young, but I'm a grown ass man now. So I love to dance. I love to dance. Don't get it wrong,
Mhm.
but I love to do it in a more upscale angle now. It's not the same. Like I don't want to be somewhere somebody's like ass all out and all of that. I just want to be somewhere where I can really be around professional minded people. You can also catch me like art shows. I love the community and how we represent the art culture. Um, Truth be told, a lot of business expos. I am a event planner by trade, and by professionalism. I'm also a travel agent, and the amount of the culture I see at our expos are phenomenal. So that's pretty much where you're gonna catch me at. I'm not big on digital because I don't do social media because I just like it's a bunch of foolishness and fuckery. So no, I'm not going to be on Bigo. I'm not going to be on, all these other chat sites unless I'm on something for Peach because she is our social media expert. But other than that, like I will be the one that's at like the live type events, and community events, especially like I said, art galleries, shows. I was supposed to be at the Wilmington Pride event tonight that I totally forgot about, but yeah. So you know,
Well, you gave him
like
a shout out,
that's
so you didn't forget about him.
I did. I ain't gonna hold you. It's been a long day. I work for the state. I deal with people all day. I forgot. I mean, and then when I looked at the time, I was like, well, it starts at the same time as the podcast. So, my loyalty comes first, and I am, I am in black all day.
Well,
Each day
we
I am
all
me.
appreciate you being here
Yeah.
for this. And so the second part of that question is, can you share a memorable experience from one of those spaces that you?
So the first time I went to see Kinky Boots on Broadway, God Almighty. First of all, Cyndi Lauper was in the crowd. That is number one. So I already freaked out because as a young person, I was a huge Cyndi Lauper fan. I swear my mom used to think I was white because I would be the one walking around the house singing Cyndi Lauper, and I would get feathers and stuff to throw in my hair. Then, oh my God, what is his name? Babe, what's the man name that sing Apple Pie? Apple Pie. Todrick Hall was in the play. Listen, Andre L freaks out over good entertainment, and we were in Manhattan having a ball. I thought I was Kinky Boots. It was my first like major gay experience, I would say, because literally the entire theater was. It must have been like LGBTQ night or something, because the entire theater was gay. And we had a whole freaking walking chairs, dancing experience. We acted a whole damn fool in that theater. I knew they was gonna put all of us out there. It's going, I know them man theater managers like you don't get all these queens out this damn theater, but we had a ball. And then they threw like a, well, we found out where the cast was going for dinner, and we followed. Let me just say that. I mean, my first official gay theater experience was Rent, but Kinky Boots always stands out because the experience was just freaking phenomenal. And being like someone who worked at a hotel, like I worked at a Hotel DuPont, so we always did their off Broadway Kinky Boots. They so watered that shit down because the on Broadway version of Kinky Boots, if you have not seen Kinky Boots, I'm telling you, go see Kinky Boots.
Well, that sounds very memorable. And Zay, I can repeat
Uh-oh.
the question for you.
Yes.
Okay, so beyond traditional nightlife, what are some of the most vibrant, meaningful spaces where, whether physical or digital, where you have found a sense of community, joy, and authentic connection within the Black gay experience?
I live for social media. I'm always on social media, whether it be taking photos, taking videos, little reels. I like to be the face of everything. I like to be the front of it. I am the club person. I'll do a lounge, like I'll do concerts and things like that. But I'm gonna be more like we went to our first concert when we first got together, and well, I slept for the concert. Okay, I slept for the concert. I was excited, but I slept for the concert. So for me, it's more like it depends on the type of crowd it's going to be, the type of vibe that it's going to be. Um, People can hit me up and invite me out, and I'll say yeah, but when I actually look into it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to that. I don't want to just, be sitting here looking at the wall and looking at people. I need to be like doing something physically. So we got to be dancing, drinking, maybe a little things of others.
I get you. I get you. And so, can you share a memorable experience from one of those spaces?
I'll probably say the club. Like when I used to go to the club, when I first decided that I wanted to be gay, I like go to the club, but I'll be more so just like, a little here dabbing, shaking. But now you see me at a club and I'm the center of the attention. I'm in the middle of the dance floor. I might be dancing like the man or I might just be shaking. Like it depends, but it makes me happy because I'm in the space where I can just be myself and nobody's judging.
Mm. All right. And Tim,
Okay, could you run the two-parter back for me one more time?
I sure can, Tim. I got you. So, beyond traditional nightlife, what are the most vibrant and meaningful spaces, whether physical or digital, where you have found community, joy, and authentic connection within the gay Black experience?
Anywhere but the clubs. Um, and I'm not saying that to be funny. It's just I've never been really hypersexual, so I have a lot of clashes in the club. So I mean, spaces can be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a building or a structure. If I'm in the right place with the right people, it just becomes it. You know what I'm saying? We could be hanging out. We could be down at the waterfront. We could be going fishing. It's For me. It's more about the quality of the people and the quality that you get out of the experiences that you're sharing for each other. It's about the love that rotates around. It's about the vibes that rotates around. Um, a lot of times when I speak about ballroom, I speak harshly, but those were some of the most beautiful times of my life because I got to work with young people. I got to assist them. I got to help them grow. I got to take groups of young people that weren't used to being family and they weren't used to unity. And I taught them, how to dance or how to walk a runway or, how to model this or how to model that. But low key, I was teaching them what a family felt like and how to be a family and what loyalty consists of. And just traveling with these kids and watching them win and watching them go from a group of kids to like a little family. And, to this day, this is like 20 years later, and some of these people are still close. They're like actually parts of each other's lives. They're each other's families. So I would say that does it for me. It's not really the clubs and the shows and the stage and the lights. It's anywhere where anybody in our community is building or growing or receiving some type of prosperity. But it's especially the youth because that's our future. So that's my
Well,
answer to part A.
well, it feel like you answered part B too, because because the second part is, can you share a memorable experience from one of these spaces, which technically you just did with the kids.
Right,
So
right, right. You know,
mind taker. So that was great. And okay, well, Peach, you're up. I would love to hear your answer.
Mm.
Would you like me to
So
repeat it? Or are you good?
no, no, I'm good. To answer this question is funny, right? For me, because like Tim, and I thought Tim was going to steal the answer, but you didn't, Tim, and I'm fine. So, community for me is a little different for some of the letters because I'm pansexual. So, I can navigate in heterosexual spaces and be fine. I can navigate in LGBTQ spaces is fine, but it's not a where for me, it's a win. It's when I decide to create community for myself because I create spaces for me to be in. And I'm laughing. I was laughing listening to everybody because mostly everybody I met is because I created a space to meet them. And my most memorable moment is all of the spaces that I created because I got to meet new people, add on to my family. And every person that I run into, I consider them a part of this huge family that I have, whether they're heterosexual or LGBTQ plus. So yeah, I create my own spaces. I create digital spaces with all these shows. And then I create actual event spaces. So that is my answer.
Wow, that was a great answer too. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, that was great. That was great. It was great. I gotta move on to my next question here. Okay, so the idea of public. All right, so first one up is Dre. I'll switch the order after four. I'm gonna switch it up after four, but for the first couple questions, I sort of have an order, and I like the way it's flowing, and I like everybody's the way everybody's answering. So, all right, so for Dre, the idea of public private identities suggests some aspects of self are shared more openly than others. How do you navigate what parts of your sexuality or identity you reveal in different settings, i.e., like family, work, social circles, and what informs those choices?
Um, at this point in my life, I don't really separate it anymore. Um, I do um, determine how much of myself I believe a person should know about,
And
but
how
I
do
don't.
you come to that determination?
Um, Based upon where I'm at, the atmosphere I'm in. If I'm in a business meeting, or if I'm at work, a lot of, I just feel like I'm here to do a job. I'm not here to really become friends with anybody. So I don't really care what you know about me, but I do um, limit how much of myself I share with the person. If I'm wearing a professional hat, if I'm in a ministry atmosphere, I'm there to serve the people. and so I have to serve the people. But I don't hide that I have a male fiance. If I'm in a family setting, my family and I, when we together, we cutting up anywhere. So they get to see that whole side of who Andre is 1000%, versus the other who may see it 900%.
Mm.
But I have learned to be comfortable with who I am. So for me, it's just whatever hat I'm wearing, that's the hat you're going to get.
Great answer. uh, Zay, would you like me to read the question to you as well?
No, I'll just say in the workplace, I don't really show like the LGBTQ side of me. But if I like socialize with somebody and they pick up or they ask about it, I might, open up about it, or I might just be like, oh, whatever you feel is you think is for me, then that's what it is. But for the most part, when I'm around family, I'm more so myself.
Mm.
It's just certain family members I might be wild around, and certain family members that I might just be like more laid back and relaxed to. But for the most part, I
Do
just
you
be
feel like
me.
that's a
I give
generational
them me.
when it comes to family? Do you feel like that's a generational thing?
Yeah, because some of the older people were more like they still be stuck in their ways when it comes to the gay world. It's more like if I don't see it, then that's fine. But then the moment I see it, it's like, oh, my face is all scrunched up. Versus, you got some of the family members that are older that's just like, I know about it, I see it, just don't do too much, but I still accept it.
Hmm. Right, right.
Because there are some people in the family who's like older and gay, but it's like kind of hard to determine it unless you really sit back and pay attention or you've been around them a lot.
Mm. Right, right. Okay, that was wow. That was informative. I just learned something, and I'm here to learn too. So thank you guys for answering these questions and giving me such great answers. Tim, you need me to repeat the question?
Yes, because I be listening to the answers. That's why I need you to repeat the question.
Oh, no problem.
It's not that
Anytime.
I'm not paying attention. Mm.
You know what? And like I said at the beginning, I wrote some really. I put some care and attention. Did some homework. I'm using actual language here. So yeah, you might want me to repeat some things because I did go a bit far to make sure I could, come with the best questions that I could come up with. So the question goes like this, Tim. The ideal of public private identities suggests some aspects of self are shared more openly than others. How do you navigate what parts of your sexuality or identity you reveal uh, in different settings, i.e., like your family, your work, social circles, and what informs those choices?
Believe it or not, I'm pretty much the same person in just about all of those spaces. But from my experiences, I've learned to keep my personal, not just my sexual preferences and things of that nature. I've found it really a necessity to keep my personal separate from my business.
Mm,
Um, so I really don't bring my sexuality into the workplace. I don't think it's the place for it because it's an old saying that the old people used to say. And it basically is you don't eat and shit in the same place. So if I work with you, you attached to my money. Anybody attached to my money is off limits. And I live by that. But it's also a level of personal that I get with family and friends as opposed to people that I work with. Um, Family and friends know I'm goofy as shit and I love to have a good time. And I'm the type of person that 10 minutes after I walk in the room, everybody's laughing. Everybody's enjoying itself. Whereas if somebody that knows me on a less personal note, they would tell you I'm evil as shit. I don't really say much. If the answer is no, it's no. I'm not taking nothing off you. I'll go home. I could care less. So I mean, for the most part, I'm the same, you know. But I just feel like the entertainment thing that I do, I definitely keep that out of work because it causes too much controversy, and then people start assuming all kinds of crazy things, and people don't verbalize anymore. They demonize, and I don't have time for any of that. Where I make my money, I don't have any time for that at all. Where I make my money, but for the most part, I'm the same person regardless of what groups I'm around. Friends, family, business. It's just certain aspects of certain pieces of me that you get on a personal note that you wouldn't get on a business or professional note.
Okay, that
I
was a
think I
great
did.
answer.
I answer.
I feel like you answered it.
All right.
I feel like you answered it, and that was pretty cut and dry and to the point. It felt very relatable, like Uh, and Pete, you
Lame.
up? Yeah. Wait, before you go, no. When I say that, I mean, yeah, relatable, as in, like, I don't just share every part of myself. I make choices and 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 think about what aspects of myself to share with an individual at any given time. And I have a process that I undergo. And my process usually goes on the nature of the relationship, and how connected I am to them. Like you're saying, like when it comes to your money, right? Like, hey, we don't bring personal stuff into money because that's, even the old people will tell you, that's bad business. So that's what I meant by that. So yeah, I can totally, I feel like it was very cut and very easy to
Gotcha.
understand your perspective. So okay, Peach, you're up. I really want to hear your answer. I'm really
I
excited
try
to
to
hear
break
it.
everything down in like a layman's terms. Nobody can relate.
Mm. Um, I just normalize my identity, my sexuality. I don't the same way you view yourself as being heterosexual, I view myself as being pansexual. So it just depends. If you're my friend, I'm going to conversate with you. If you're not, I'm not. I don't care what your sexuality is or how you feel about mine. Um, on the job, why am I even talking about that? I'm here to work. you know. So yeah, I normalize it. Sort of like Tim, basically. If it warrants it, if I'm in a conversation, then I'll have that conversation if I trust you. But if we're not friends, it ain't even no point. And that's how, yeah, I just carry myself as if I'm a heterosexual person. I'm not hiding, I'm not divulging unless I trust you, and I could be heterosexual and still be the same way.
Mm,
So that's my answer.
good answer. Good answer. I like it. Makes sense to me.
Can I add a difference with mine? I don't
Yes, please do.
act homosexual or act heterosexual. I just act like Tim. That's why I said just about everybody gets the same version of me because
Right.
I don't flip flop. I just wake up and do what I do.
So you just normalize it like me. I am who I am,
Yeah,
whatever.
it don't change regardless what group I'm around. It don't change. Now when I'm with my gay friends, yeah, I cut up. So it might change a little bit then. But other than that, no, pretty much the same thing. But anyway, take your show back to it.
Oh no, I didn't. It wasn't taken away. This is all the opportunity to share and give insightful information to those that do not understand. And my whole purpose here is to bring a better understanding beyond the normal conversations that are had, that are divisive and that are clickbait design in nature, that are echo chambered rabbit holes that lead down to nothing actual or tangible. So please cut in at any time and feel free, because all of it is informative. And as long as my job is to ask good questions. And if I'm asking the right questions, then whatever you say is going to be good. That's how I feel about it. That's just my feelings though on it. But okay, so moving on to the next question, and I'm gonna switch it up this time. This time I'm gonna start with Zay. And many discussions touch on the challenges faced by black men. What are some of the unknown or lesser discussed aspects of your lifestyle or community that you wish more people understood? Perhaps something that brings you immense pride or unexpected joy.
Um, well, being gay and black is one, but I would probably say for me, being a gay black father, having children, because I got a son and I got a daughter. And a lot of people think that because you're gay, you're not supposed to have kids, or two men together, shouldn't raise kids, but it's more so like their minds. But yes, I'm in a relationship. Um, and they know that, but there's people out there who question the fact that because I'm gay and how do I have children, but I wasn't always gay before the kids, except for when it came to my son. Like when I had my daughter, that was in high school, I was still dating women. When I had my son, I was already switched over, I was gay, but it was grown, so it was kind of a difference in the world's outside on that, or insight on that rather.
Mhm.
Does that answer that question?
I think that does. I think that does. But I'd like to just, because you gave such a great answer, I would like to dig a little. What's some um other insightful
Where did
information?
Reach find you at?
Oh,
All
I don't know. But
right, you said what? Say it again.
I did I did want to elaborate a little bit on that. That I wanted to know a little bit. Give us a little bit more about being a black gay father, because they almost act like that can't even happen.
They
I can't,
do.
like you don't you often hear about two gay women raising children, right?
Right.
And then when you hear about gay fathers, they're always white.
They're like, oh no, that can't happen. I think they feel like, because women are meant to have babies, it's okay for them, two women to raise a baby. They think that maybe two men can't raise a baby only because they're the father and they do so much. But there's men out here who actually do every single thing that a mother does, except for the nurturing of breastfeeding,
Mhm.
but everything else the father does. And like, even though I show people pictures of my kids, they both look like me, but me and my daughter are actually twins. Like, she's everything of my face. And people still be like, oh, but are those your real kids? Are those your godchildren? And I'm like, no, these are my biological children. Like, they came out of this sack, type thing. And they
Mhm.
be like, oh. And then they ask questions of like, well, how does the mothers feel? And it's crazy because my daughter's mom, she's in the straight community, and my son's mother, she's also in the gay community, but she's not the feminine gay. She's the masculine gay.
Wow. Well, I just learned a lot, so that's great. I mean, honestly, that's a very a wonderful understanding, because you never really hear about that. And you know, thank you for sharing that. That was great. That was great. So, Tim, I'm gonna put you up next, and then I'm gonna call on Dre. So, Tim, would you like me to repeat that for you?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, many discussions touch on the challenges faced by gay black men. What are some of the unknowns or lesser discussed aspects of your lifestyle or community that you wish more people understood? Perhaps something that brings you immense pride or unexpected joy.
Gay men are not bitches. The
Can
second
you
that
elaborate
people
on
hear,
that?
I'm in the process. The second that people hear that a man is gay, he's
He's
automatically
automatically
less than.
less.
He's automatically weak. He's automatically incompetent. There are some gay men out here that have raised a child or children on their own. Like, here's the thing that people don't take the time to realize. A gay black man has to deal with everything that a heterosexual black man has to deal with. And then on top of that, they have to endure being demonized by their own communities, families, and so-called friends. It's a lot more to this than y'all think it is. It's a lot more on us than y'all have to carry. Like, I raised my daughter closeted, and it wasn't because of any shame in what I was doing. Most of my gay friends were older than me, and I got a chance to see what their kids went through because of the fact that they were gay. Those kids were tortured all through fucking elementary and middle school. Sometimes some of them into high school, and that stuff had effects on those kids. And it was all because of what their parents chose to do in life. It didn't have anything to do with the kids. So until my daughter was 17 years old, she didn't know anything about what I did. And I readjusted my lifestyle to protect her. That's one of the reasons why I never lived in the lifestyle. I never wrapped myself around the lifestyle. I had obligations that wouldn't allow me to. Like, I know gay men that are taking care of entire families. I know gay men that are doing everything that their heterosexual counterparts are not showing up to do. Stop thinking we're less than because of who we are. Stop thinking that just because you hear somebody is gay, that he's not a man. Like, that's one of those misconceptions. Like, some of the people that you doing these cruel things to and you saying these cruel things about, they surviving shit that would have broke your ass in fucking half. Stop thinking that we're less than. Because it's a lot of people that think that about gays and couldn't walk a couple of steps in their shoes, nonetheless a couple of miles. That's my answer.
Okay, that was a very insightful answer,
And
and I appreciate that.
Bryson Stott joins us down the field.
Um, I am going to challenge you though. Is there something in there that brings immense pride and joy?
There's quite a few things in there
I,
that
I
bring
got everything
pride and
else you were
joy.
saying was very, very crucial for everyone to understand and to hear. I'm so glad that you shared that. I agree with that wholeheartedly, everything you said. I also want to share a positive as well, right? Something that they don't know that is positive, right? and I know
Question:
you're capable of that.
When you be
If we with
when you be in your work your work what do you call it, your work person, does that bring you joy, Tim? When you be your
it,
alter ego?
it does.
Shantae.
It does. Um, it's like it's like being on the basketball team or being on the football team, or I mean that's what the equivalent. It it's a gay sport to me, and I'm good at it. Yeah, it brings me the same type of joy that I had when I was playing basketball or playing football and in school.
Mm.
Oh, and being as though we brought that up, I have a show the first Thursday of July at Bob and Barbara's, 1505 South Street, Bob and Barbara's Lounge. But yeah, that brings me joy.
That was a great answer, though, Tim. I just wanted you to add that on there for me, and that was wonderful. So thank you. And Peach, I'm gonna have you go next, and then I'll have Dre go. You're
Okay,
muted.
well, I'm not a gay man, but
No, I
I'll
know,
answer the
but still,
question.
I want to just, I just want to
Okay.
bring you into
You
that.
want it from my perspective or from a
Yeah,
gay male's perspective?
I want it
If
from.
I was a gay male.
No, no, I'm just gonna as a gay woman.
Um, wow. Okay, so what I want y'all to know, right, is that number one, we don't hate men. Some of us in the community that are females actually have the capacity to date men. And another thing I would like y'all to know, and for everybody else that has sensitive ears, please cover them, is that we don't need a dildo or a dick to have sex. Men seem to believe, heterosexual men, some heterosexual women, seem to believe in order for us to engage with each other in a sexual manner, we need that. Sex can't happen without that. And I'm here to tell you, no, that's fucking wrong. And maybe you should try some exploration, because that is not the case. And another thing I want everybody to know about the community, just in general, is that this is not a sexual thing. We have the capacity to love each other. We actually love each other. We love our partners. Yes, we fall in love with them. We can't live without them. We can't wait to see them. And just like y'all, sometimes we want to kill them, but they're ours.
Mm, mhm.
So
Well,
it's very similar. We're not any different than you guys. It's just we have the same sex, and then some of us have the opposite sex, but we're still a part of the community. You know,
mhm.
we don't trade in the card. So
Can you
that is,
elaborate on the word community?
well, what the LGBTQ plus community.
Oh,
We're still a
okay.
part of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's another thing. If a practicing LGBTQ plus person decides to date the opposite sex, that does not make them not a part of the community. So a lot of people like to push that on identities like mine, like the pansexual and the bisexual. Pick a side. You're not in the community. No, I'm in the community. I just like you this time.
Mm.
And that is my answer.
Well, I just learned something else. I always thought that was a part of the community, but apparently it is not. And there is a thing with that. Okay, I'm learning over here. This is wonderful. So
No,
Dre,
it is.
it
Being
really
pan is.
I did I no, I understand that. I'm from you explaining that, right? Like I just learned something. So and I'm not here to push back really in any negative kind of way. I'm really just here to learn and also hopefully share with some other people out there who aren't informed, who are also heterosexual, and may want to know about these things. And I think the more we have this type of engagement, the more we open up the door for everyone to have a better understanding of each other. So, Dre, you need me to read the question again, or
No, he says Dre. Sorry, I got Zay in the background here. Um, that's part of the wanting to kill him every now and again. Um, I believe with gay black men, I feel like they feel like we can't. A lot of people feel like we can't do the same as most straight black men. And I think a lot of the issue that they're having is that we're not the same. Like, we boss the fuck up with everything we do, whether it's the boardroom or the sports room or the music room or the choir room. Uh, we do things big because we're good at what we do. We put more effort into what we do. We don't worry about what people think as much as people think we do. Um, I've learned, and I can't speak for everyone on this panel, but when it relates to Andre, if I put my hands to it, I already know it's accomplished. Not because I'm pompous, but because that's the favor I choose to walk in daily. Like, my biggest affirmation is whatever I put my hands to today shall be performed. And so I don't walk into an atmosphere that I know I can't control. And so I think our pride, our self esteem bothers a lot of people. And I want them to realize we're not pompous or we're not arrogant people, or at least not some of us. But we are very confident because after you've been torn down so much, either you're going to be confident or you're going to become what the world says you are. That's the only options you have.
right?
And many of us, especially black gay men, because we don't have the ability to be friends with Tom in corporate. We're already a threat when we walk through, and if you're black, educated, and gay, you're definitely a threat. And so I've learned to if I'm going to do something, I got to make sure I know what I'm doing before I go involved. We study to show ourselves approved, if you will. And so I want them to realize we're not. And I also want them to realize, especially with black gay men, we're not always a combative nature. We're not the characters you see on TV. For some of us, life be life and for real. But we also know how to be adults in all situations, and we do very well at it, if you ask me.
That was really good answer, Dre. I appreciate that. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Moving on then. Zay, I'll start with you again. How do you personally define and experience Black queer joy? What does it look like, feel like, and how do you cultivate it in your daily life, especially in a world that doesn't always celebrate both identities?
Are you asking how do I make it in the world of what being gay?
I'm asking, how do you define that experience? Of How would you define that experience?
Oh, well, I have moments, so it's like I don't know. It's hard to put it into words because I used to be like to be gay, I'll be happy, but for myself. But then a part of me, I went through a trial where it was like I'm gay and happy, but the way that I portray it, is it for me or is it more so just to keep the people quiet and happy?
Mm.
And then it came to a point where I was just like, I had to make up a decision where I had to choose between the two if I wanted to be gay and happy for me or gay and happy because that's just the trend that's going on, you know? So I would say being gay and happy now is easier for me only because of the person that I'm with. So he shows me a different side of it.
Mm.
Yeah. And he reminds me like you got to do things for yourself, not so much for everybody else of what makes you happy. You got to find your own happiness for you. So I guess black happy excellence or whatever is that.
Mm. Okay. All right. Thank you. That makes sense to me. I'm gonna go to Dre next. I think he was I could hear him saying something. So I'm
I
going
was
to
just
Dre
I
next.
was breaking the question down for Zay. um, Zay stole my answer a lot. So
How would
I
you
was married
define black
before.
queer joy?
Yeah. I was Zay stole my answer. Nah,
Oh,
I was married before. And my wife passed unexpectedly. Very shortly after our marriage. Um,
Terrell, I'm sorry
so
to
I
hear
didn't
that.
get a chance to really experience the happy life of happy wife, happy life type lifestyle. Because it was cut short, and I gave up on a lot of stuff. Now I was already bi. Let me throw that disclaimer out there when I was with my wife. And she knew that, and our nighttime was popping, because I had the best of both worlds. But it was a thing that she taught me that I can still be me and still command every bit of happiness that I deserve. So after going through my depression, and getting back to me, I've learned for me that black gay joy or black queer joy, as you put it, for me is the fact that everything that a straight person would say I can't do, I've done on a level that they could never do it. When I walk through the doors every day, um, as much of a headache that this man is, he shows me that I'm able to do whatever I put my hands to, and that it's appreciated. Um, I look at the fact that my biological children are deceased, but the children I raised are phenomenal. And they always have a way of reminding me that if you weren't here, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at. The students, I had a student reach out to me on Father's Day that I taught over 20 years ago, and was like, his message literally said, "You were the only father I knew, the only
Mm.
father type figure I knew." And for a black man to come from the same hood I came from to show me how to be a boss meant everything to me. And he now owns two businesses. And and I was just a teacher of his just for 1 year. So then I had a member who hit me on Father's Day, who said, you don't get the credit that you deserve because you never look for the credit. You look for the success in the person.
Mm.
And so to be a fruit from your tree shows me that whatever I put my hands to, I can do. And that blew my mind on Father's Day. So I've learned that joy starts from the inside and then spreads abroad. When I look at the books I've written or the accomplishments that I've made in life, it brings me joy, because these are things that people would say, a young black man from the inner city raised by a single mother, he would never accomplish these things. And
Mm.
not only did I accomplish it, but then when the table was prepared, you had to show up so I could eat. So
Right.
that's what brings me the joy of knowing that no matter what my enemy puts before me, I still can't eat till they present.
Well, that was very deep, and that was deep. I mean, I'm like, wow, okay. That was powerful. Peach, you need me to repeat the question?
Okay, no, I don't. So, what is
I'm
queer
asking you.
black joy to me?
Ask everybody that
Um,
met you.
Okay. Well, when I get up in the morning and I go in the mirror, queer black joy looks like me. It is me. It feels like me. Everything about me internally is queer black joy. You know why? Because that's what the fuck I am. I'm queer black joy. I love this question because again, it brings me back to think about it in reverse. What does heterosexual joy look like? It just looks like nothing, right? It just looks like you waking up and having to do what the fuck you need to do in the morning. So queer black joy is me. I know what I am. I'm happy with it. I'm good with it. And everything that I do, every accomplishment is happening from a black queer woman. So that's queer black joy for me.
I like that. I like it. I like it. Straight to the point. Powerful. Powerful. And Tim, would you like me to repeat the question?
No.
Okay.
Uh, I think it's in. I think it's in everything I do. I think it's in the clothing and costumes that I create. When people like the things I make and they're satisfied. I think it's whenever I have a whole crowd of people in the palm of my hand, and at the end of the night, I did a great job, and everyone's satisfied. I just, I just think it's in the turmoil that used to surround me in my sexuality, as opposed to the peace that surrounds me now. It's just being able to just get up and live life without a whole bunch of negative things holding you back and hurting you, without a whole bunch of dead weight. Just being able to be comfortable in your skin and enjoy life without stressing and looking over your shoulder. Because at one point in time, that's what my life consisted of. And there was no joy for this boy. But life is a lot different now. I find joy in a lot of different things. Just company I keep or different events or programs I'm involved in, sewing or dancing or just sitting at home and being at peace. That's my answer.
Well, thank you, Tim. That was powerful. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be really shocked by a lot of the answers because they're so insightful and in a different direction. Where, and with I would think people would be thinking, and so I appreciate that. And so I'm gonna start with
Well,
Tim this time.
or
Go ahead, Tim.
some of these ain't going against the stereotype.
Yeah, they're all going against the
Mm.
stereotypes. Quite to be quite honest with you. Um, but I'm gonna start this one with you,
No,
Tim.
I was just saying some of our answers are going against the popular stereotypes
Yes, I agree with you. I was saying
about
yes. I
us.
think all of your answers are actually going against this. There, I don't think anyone gave an answer that actually supports the stereotype. So, actually, I think some information will definitely reach great ears to
And this is a good
expand
show.
what they understand, and change some thinking. So, thank you very much. I'm gonna start this next question for you, Tim. Okay. All right. Considering the intersection of race and sexuality, how do you perceive yourself? And how does this perception
Wow, the
align?
delay is that bad.
Hmm? What did you say? I'm sorry, Tim. Did you say something?
Sanchi said the delay is bad.
Oh yeah, the delay is bad. It is bad. Okay. So I'll tell you what. Let's start with Zay. I'm gonna start with Zay, and we'll come back to you, Tim, for this question because everybody's gonna answer it anyway. So I'm gonna start with Zay.
How does the perception align with what? I say, how does the perception align with what?
I don't think you heard
The
anything
delay
I
is
was
eight
saying. Can you?
seconds.
We gonna come back to you, Tim.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So Zay. All right. Considering the intersection of race and sexuality, how do you perceive yourself, and how does this perception align with or diverge from how you believe society or
Yeah,
even
I heard
specific
everything.
view you?
He pushed the wrong button.
That's, no worries, no worries. So, Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I think the delay is gone there. I think your reception may be back.
Okay.
All right. So you can hear
Okay.
me, right? I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna ask the question again, okay, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. It goes, considering the intersection of race and sexuality, how do you perceive yourself, and how does this perception align with or diverge from how you believe society or specific communities view you?
I seem to be perceived the same in all communities. It's very guilty until proven innocent, even in the gay community.
Okay. So there is, you don't see an issue there.
I see a strong issue there.
Okay, so what changes would you like to see in that external perception?
Just because I look like the stereotype from TV and movies, that don't mean I'm gonna rob you. That don't mean I'm broke. That don't mean I'm uneducated. That doesn't mean the slightest thing that you say to me means I'm gonna pop off. That doesn't mean that I'm not intelligent enough to comprehend what you say to me.
Mm.
Doesn't mean any of those things. It just means that I'm dark skinned and I got some sides to me, and I just don't have the friendliest look. And I get those perceptions in all communities,
Mm.
even the LGBTQIA community.
Wow, that was powerful. Well, yeah. I really hope this changes people's perceptions. Really, really. We're all humans. We're all here to be of service to one another. None of us can do this thing called life alone. We're all on this planet together. And I'm really glad that you guys are sharing this perspective. So I'm gonna move on to Dre. Dre, would you like me to repeat the question?
Now, I think I understand the question, to live. I perceive myself. I perceive myself is now. I perceive myself just to be a grown ass man, and not just that, but a grown businessman. I used to hate the saying, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, but now I understand it fully. Um, I believe that in this world, we perceive that most, especially nowadays, we perceive that most gay black men are just a bunch of sexual beings that like to party and like to be high all the time. Um, I don't think we realize that some of us run, we run corporate boardrooms. I've said it before on the show today. I've said it on shows previously to this. Like they wouldn't see Peach as somebody who runs an entire entertainment kilometer. They would look at her and they would just be like, "Oh, it's Peach," They wouldn't see Tim as somebody who understands the dynamics of showbiz and how how to transform showbiz to a different aspect. They wouldn't see the side of Zay that I see, of somebody who has a mind that far exceeds the people that is used to being in his atmosphere.
Mm.
They wouldn't see me as an author, a CEO, a nonprofit person, if you will, like a chairman of the board and an apostle who understands the dynamics of ministry with his eyes closed. Because they don't give us a chance to see this side of us. If I could change anything, it would be really across the board. It would be for people to learn to get to know a person before you try to judge them.
Mm.
A lot of people always say, "Oh, he's so judgmental." No, I call out the shit I see. And I bring it to the forefront, not to say, this is a weak point of view, but to say, when will you shift this part of you to become the person that you've been called to be? I like to challenge people to be who they've been called to be, not who they chose to be. Because sometimes we choose to be the wrong person, but we're called to be who we've been called to be. And
Mm.
so when people ask me, why do you not like Forefront? I tell them, because you can't have a spotlight for something you've been chosen to do. A lot of us walk in our chosen capabilities. This is what I was birthed to do. And when I stop doing what I was birthed to do, I can close my eyes at the end of the day and say I've done everything that I've been assigned to do. And so I feel like if people just get to understand in the external perception of us, if they get to understand that there is a lot deeper in us than what we allow you to see, but we can't let you see that side because a lot of times you won't receive me for that person. I think that a lot of the world would be a better place because we then don't have to be, I will say, we don't have to hide our chosen identity to meet the world, if that makes sense. I hope that answers the question.
You sound computerized.
Yeah, it's breaking up real bad.
You're breaking up to live.
See.
Yeah, that's better. It seemed like you blurring a little, but you're coming
It's
back.
normal.
Test number
No,
two.
No.
it's still doing it.
No, you're better. You're better. Okay, so to answer this question, how do I perceive myself? I perceive myself as me. I am me, like the organization says. I am me, and I'm happy with me. How do I think the external world looks at me? Well, this is, and I hope you understand this to live, right? Because now I'm about to talk LGBT terminology. For me, I guess I function in stealth mode like Tim. You can't we're not walking around overtly gay. So you wouldn't know we're a part of the community. So when you see me, when a person sees me that's on the outside, they just see a regular woman, they see Tim, they see a regular black man. So we deal with, the blackness of it all, not necessarily the LGBTQ plus of it all, right? And so, what I would love to see in the world is just normalize that people like what they like. There are different sexualities. Number two, stop stereotyping. Because again, me and Tim walk in the world stealth around heterosexual people, around homophobes. And y'all swear that y'all know who's in the community and you don't know, and you're running your mouth, and we're there. Stop stereotyping. Or you'll see a effeminate man or a masculine tomboy woman that's heterosexual, but then you'll judge her as being gay. It makes no sense. If we just take all of that out and just accept that everyone is, have a different preference than you, even insects are homosexual. You look it up. It occurs in nature. So, I think we just waste our time. We have so many other things we can worry about. We got the maps out there. I think we should all get together and just talk about how we're going to get rid of these maps. That's our own common problem there. But we only 2% of the population, less than 2% in the United States. Okay, but here's the thing. I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, no. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Hollywood makes us look like monsters, right? And let's say what the
Tasha Gray.
what's these communities that have believe in conspiracies and all of that stuff, right? I'm gonna just say this: the conspiracy, it should never be about a person's sexuality. It should be about the act. So if you're looking at a person and they're touching children, that has nothing to do with his sexuality. That has everything to do with them being a deviant. And I think a lot of people in society has a problem with separating LGBTQ plus and deviancy. Two separate things. Two, and that's the Hollywood, yes, that's the whole thing with this Hollywood thing.
But in Hollywood, ain't they the main ones who be in the straight community, but they be going to parties and they all be on all these different drugs, and then things start happening,
Well,
and then they go to their friend's house and things like that, and they
well,
always blame it on the
what
drugs.
what they do is basically they do all these heinous acts and they do it under the guise of the community. So I'm gonna touch children, but then I'm gonna transition into this. But most of the world don't realize that again, your identity and your sexuality has nothing to do with the act. Because if you them people have a fucking deviancy. There are straight, yes, there are straight maps. Yes, they there are straight maps. There are gay maps. It's just that it highlights that, they highlight the LGBTQ maps. But really, the heterosexual ones is a higher percentage of maps that are heterosexual, which is mind-boggling that we focus on the community. Just mind boggles me. But yeah, no, like I said, for my answer, just normalize gayness and let's attack what we need to attack. Let's handle people that have deviancy issues. And and it's serious. And if anybody has ever watched any of our shows, you'll understand that the maps is creating their own fucking community. So while you're staring at LGBTQ plus, which is grown individual having consensual sex with each other, it's a whole nother community being built that's gearing up to legalize themselves to be around your children. That is the problem. That's where we need to look. But that is my answer. Externally, I have no issues because I walk basically in stealth mode. Unless if I was masculine centered, then you would be able to identify me as an LGBTQ plus person. Otherwise, no. Me and Tim just look like regular shit. Even Dre and Zay, you wouldn't know. So, but that's my answer. To let take the show back.
Give
I think Talib just froze.
Can y'all hear me?
Y-
We can hear
Um,
you now.
You
what
come,
was the
yeah, you
question
back.
again? I done forgot that quick. Something about an image.
me raise
You sound computerized. You want me to ask it?
I pretty much I just be myself no matter where I go. I don't know why they always say that, like how you look at people and be like, oh, she's in the community or oh, he's in the community type thing. Because how does being in the community look? How does it look to be a gay woman? How does it look to be a gay man? How does it look to be a straight man or a straight woman, you know? For me personally, I don't feel like you should judge people just because, there's men who are straight, but they're actually feminized. They're in touch with their feminine ways. So there's men out here there's straight men out here who get their nails done, get their feet done, get their eyebrows arched, but that they're not considered gay. But if a gay man does it, it's like, oh, he's sweet, he wasn't raised like that, or who does he think he is type thing. So it'd be like in the community, I feel like a lot of people judge what the gays do versus what the straights do, or how you see somebody, because I don't know that a sexual orientation has a certain look. I didn't know to be gay you have to look like a gay individual, but once again, what does gay look like? But what does straight look like if we're all
Yeah,
human beings?
right. And it's the lines are blurring because straights are having anal sex
Yeah.
with the
So sorry.
opposite sex.
Exactly.
So
So
Well,
it
now,
it's
Peach.
it's like a up and down thing. Like, what does it look like to live? Like, do you even know what it looks like to be a homosexual or heterosexual? Do you know what gay looks like or straight looks like? Yeah, like, can it be identified? So, do you think that fashion can determine a sexuality?
You're frozen. All right. To live
That's
is
it, ladies
frozen.
and gentlemen. We're at our 2 hour mark. That's Restream saying, "All right, wrap this thing up."
um,
but but I was just saying, do any of y'all think that fashion can determine a sexuality?
no.
Where everybody wearing the same stuff now. You can't tell the gays from the straights.
Exactly, because the straights is even wearing the tights and the half
I think
shirts
we
and
just
stuff.
said it. I think we say that.
The
Even
men
if you
wearing the
busted
belly
the
Like,
shirts and
sag,
whatnot. Like, what do we? How do you determine
Am I
that
still
that
frozen?
someone's gay?
Am I still frozen?
I think to live
No,
is frozen still.
that's him asking, "Am I still frozen?"
I'm asking.
Oh, there he goes.
Hello? Can I
All
be
right.
heard? Am I there?
Yeah, can we get one more question and then we gotta
Yeah,
close
yeah,
it out.
yeah. I'll just get one more question. You can hear me fine, right? Everything's good?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And
right
just and,
now, yeah.
and just to wrap that up, just to say, like, I'm saying that, brands have been used to as political tools, and the LGBTQ community, in my opinion, has been being used as a tool. And I really want to say thank you for you guys coming up and giving a different perspective, right? So some other people can have a better understanding and not only keep going off of individuals that are not being forthright and honest about it. So my last question will be, because I didn't ask anything like this yet, so I'm going to ask this one. Okay. For those navigating
Well,
the dating landscape, what are some of the unique dynamics or unspoken rules you've encountered, particularly regarding the uh, myth of or interracial dating? And what advice would you offer to others seeking meaningful connection? And I'm gonna start with you, Dre.
Well, I haven't navigated interracial dating yet, but as far as what would I offer those seeking someone to that they can call spouse, um, one, make sure that your mind and your daily body functions or your daily living is mature enough to handle long-term relationships. Um, it's not for the weak, so it's not something you can play with. Um, if you're going to date with intention, and then set your boundaries. A person who doesn't respect your boundaries don't respect you. If you're not comfortable with something, say you're not comfortable with it. If they can't make the adjustments so that you can become comfortable um, in your relationship, that might not be the relationship for you. You know, don't ignore your boundaries, because your boundaries come from your heart. They don't come from stigmatization of what you heard, and it comes from what you know you can tolerate and what you can't tolerate. And then don't dumb yourself down for nobody. You know, if you came into the relationship and you were on top of your game, stay on top of your game. I think in this lifestyle, especially, one of the biggest issues we have is we lose ourselves in our relationships because we dumb ourselves down for our relationships instead of making people come up. And sometimes you are the person that you are the come up somebody needs because you can put them in a level that they never saw themselves going. versus somebody who's just going to go along to get along, and then there's no change, there's no shift in somebody. And so the whole purpose of you being with that person, you just killed that whole purpose because there's no shift. And without shift, there's no vision. Without vision, you're already dead. So, set the boundaries day one, set your expectations day one, and don't sway from those. If you know that you're somebody who wants to be married, why would you date somebody who you can tell never has marriage attached to them? That's killing yourself softly. So get in, cling, and then focus on your relationship. And that's my last thing I would say. When you're with somebody and y'all know the intention, focus on the intention and stop divert you. A relationship is an investment. It's our first ministry. And so sometimes we got to put things to the side so we can focus on our own happiness, and we miss that because we too busy trying to please everything and everybody attached to us. So sometimes you got to cut your attachments. And if the attachments can't deal with it, then as I tell my church, burn it. Dig it up at the root and separate yourself from it completely until they can learn to understand and appreciate who you are in their life.
Okay, that was a great answer, by the way. Thank you. That was powerful. Hey, Tim.
Could you repeat the question for me, please? Thank you.
Yes, I can. Okay. So, for those navigating the dating landscape, what are some of the unique dynamics or unspoken rules you've encountered, particularly regarding the unattainability or myth or interracial dating? And what advice would you offer to others seeking a meaningful connection?
Make sure the two of you are strong, and this is exactly what you want. Because one thing I learned about interracial dating, if you're with someone who is weak, or you're with someone who basically hides behind you, then you're going to have to deal with the brunt of the backlash and the conflict that's going to stem around the two of you dating. And that's from your people and from their people and people that's just going to be around you when you're out together mingling. Just make sure you got somebody that's solid. Because if you don't, you stressing yourself out for no reason. How bad the resistance is to the two of you to being together. Naturally, it depends on the nationality and each of your nationalities. Some things are seen more heinous as others.
Mm,
Me personally, I wouldn't give a damn if you was from Jupiter. You got the qualities that make me happy, and we can build in a healthy way. I don't give a damn what nobody else thinks. If somebody else could make me happy, they would have been here before you. That's my answer.
thank you. Thank you. I think that's going to help somebody out, and I'm pretty 100% sure it will, because that was some good advice there. You all give such good advice. All the advice seems to apply to everyone, not just to the gay community. So that's really cool. So, hey, Zay, you are up, sir, and then we'll end out with Peach, so Peach can end out the show.
I honestly think it don't matter what race you are, what nationality or where you come from. You should be happy with the person as the human being for who they are. A lot of people come from different backgrounds. They have different insights, and they were raised differently, so they see relationships different. People come from dysfunctional families. People come from functional families, and I think that also plays a big part in who you date or who you be with. And if y'all can set your differences aside to make each other happy, I think that's all that really should matter. It shouldn't matter if you're black, white, African, Chinese, Mexican. we're all still human beings. We just come from different families. We come from different dynamics of a family, and we see things differently. So if you're strong enough to be with somebody who comes from a dysfunctional family, as the person who's functional, you should help them and build them up to that point. You should never throw the dysfunction in their face, and you should love them for who they are, because at the end of the day, why are you with them if you can't accept them for who they are, where they came from, or what they bring to the table?
Mm, wow. I like that. Thank you, Zay. That was powerful. And Peach, you're up.
All right. So I'm coming from a little bit of a different angle with this this whole dating thing. I think we need to change, and this applies to heterosexual people. I think we need to be more inclusive in our dating language, meaning this. First off, you got to know who you are, know what your sexuality is, know what your identity is, and know what you want. And then I believe, when we go into inclusive language, when you're meeting people, you should be introducing yourself as, what your identity is. So sort of like, hey, how you doing? My name is Peach. I'm a pansexual. Be upfront, be more inclusive in our language so that we're not misleading people, because it's too many different sexualities out here and identities that we're just throwing people off. Imagine, I find it deceptive to meet someone and I'm talking to you for months and I'm feeling you, and then you just drop a bomb on me, and then you expect me to just accept or go along with whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm a straight man and I'm dating a pansexual woman and I know I'm not into a pansexual woman, that's not what I want. I want a heterosexual woman, and I'm getting to know you and I don't learn that until 6 months later. That's not fair. So I think we need to change the way we date. I think we need to be open and honest with it up front. Um, yeah, and that's basically my answer, and be respectful and stop playing so many games with it. Open, honest answer. Change the way we date. Know who you are. Know exactly what you want. Stop playing with people.
I like that. That was a good answer. All the answers that I got tonight could apply to everyone. I think you gave there was a lot of wisdom in all of these responses. But I know that's my time. I want to thank you guys for allowing me to ask these questions. I hope the audience enjoyed it and got some insightful insight. And I want to thank you guys for allowing me to come up here and ask these questions. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So to live, we got one question for you. We ended it out for the night. What have you learned about the community? You done talk to all of us. What have you learned?
Well, I learned that um, one is that the gay community is like every other community, hardworking and really priding themselves on their ability, their personal ability to do and achieve and to be beneficial in their environment to their community. You know, um, I also learned that there's a fatigue there, uh, a sense of being tired and carrying something that was never your burden to actually carry to begin with, right? And I learned that um, there's a joy there in everyone here, and a light that can be beneficial to humanity. And I want to thank everybody for taking the time like I said, to talk with me because one like for example, learning about Zay being a father, you know, and being a good father and how important being a father is to him, right? You don't hear that, right? So that's and he is one of many gay black fathers, you know. He's not an anecdotal case, right? So I learned that. and I learned that Tim has a lot of wisdom.
Uh,
You
all
know,
right.
there's nothing really different, really, other than what is decided to do be done in the bedroom, which is anyone's business. It doesn't matter if you're heterosexual or homosexual or pansexual, right? Or whatever your sexuality is. It really shouldn't be of anyone's concern when you are in your private environment. And I think that this conversation needs to be had because something needs to change with how we are personally going into people's private personal rooms and investigating their sexual lifestyle and then deciding to judge them on what they do in the world, and that is not fair. So that's what I took from it.
All right, y'all. So that concludes LGBTQ plus and black. I know the panel, y'all, this we hear the same thing every week, right? So y'all ain't learned nothing about we ain't learned nothing about each other tonight. Tim
I
laughing.
learned that Talib and you went to the same school when it comes to creating questions because y'all like to make people think too damn hard, and then y'all use all these big ass words. And I have a doctoral. It don't mean I want to use it. I keep telling y'all that. And I learned that Talib will be back. Little do he know, to make sure he has us on his calendar because I enjoyed tonight. I enjoyed tonight, and I learned Tim is still crazy, and Zay ain't too far behind him.
You learn Zay keeps it all the way real. Tim, you learned anything?
Yeah, the same thing I
What
learn
you
every week.
learn?
Oh, fucking crazy. No, all jokes aside, it was a good show. I just learned a little more about everybody everybody on the panel. Like every week, you get a little more, another piece to add to who each of us actually is. So as usual, I enjoyed myself. I learned more about y'all. I mean, because the show was about us.
All right. All right. Well, thank you to Liv for being the guest host. We hope you come back again. Maybe you could ask us some, I don't know what y'all want him to ask. Some other type of questions, some relationship questions, some friendship questions.
I'm not sure. I know this was an interesting show. He made my brain think, and but your questions actually, Bart,
Talib, you ain't
are cast together because you asked questions where everybody pretty much had different insights. Normally, we have a show where pretty much we all say the same thing, just in different ways. But tonight, it was like everybody pulled it from on their own experience of life. So
That was
that was
powerful.
interesting.
No one gave the same answer to anything.
No.
And nobody piggybacked off the other person's answer or anything. It was all unique and informative. So that's why I want to say thank you again because that was awesome. We would anytime you guys want me to come back and speak or ask questions or anything,
Anytime.
please let me know. I'm definitely with you guys. So thank you.
You're welcome. I know my answers was off to the left, like
you welcome.
We seen it coming, Peach. It's okay.
y'all have a good night. To everybody that's watching, please share in
For
black
some
with your
reason,
friends and family. We had a great time here. We hope y'all did too. Please like, share, subscribe to everything I Am Me. Jump on the cruise that Dre spoke about earlier. It's never too late, and you can be an ally to attend to live. So and we are safe. We're not trying to squeeze nobody butts. If you're in the audience and you're scared,
See, that's some
um,
stereotype. Even though I did have a bass player, and when I was in a rock band, and she was gay, and so I went to the gay club with her. There was like a little bar, right? After we had jammed and played, and somebody just grabbed my ass like out of nowhere, and I turned around and I'm like, "Who did that?" And it was no way to tell who did it. It was like absolutely no way. I was like, okay, all right, yeah, that was my rock and roll day.
oh Lord. Well, everybody panel, tell everybody good night. We'll see them next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. ish, where Donna will be hosting. It's gonna get interesting.
I can't wait.
There goes the show.
Oh, y'all crazy. And stay away from that mac and cheese in the crock pot. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
Y'all have a good one.